I just made this video for about 2 minutes and didn't have it recording. No surprise. I had a conversation with someone about hunting your food. This guy says, well, you're lucky. You have all those cows over there. You won't starve with all those cows. Well, that's not why I bought the cows. It was not about food security. That's why I bought the sheep. Sheep are food security, not the cows. Too much work. In my opinion, for my situation. This guy was talking about a bunch of high caliber rifles, basic big game stuff, shooting big elk, this kind of stuff, big bullets, and how he was focusing on that. So if things got tough enough, he could hunt his own food, which I didn't knock him for that. Being prepared is being prepared. But I said, hey man, the stuff you're talking about, which is okay, you would have to travel to use that. There's no big game here. I'm in Central California. There's no big game. If you had to go looking for large animals like say deer, mountain lions, bears, you gotta go 25 miles up into the hills. Okay, and I think if you were in a situation where you're now hunting your own food, you either have to leave home and go where that food is, or you have to work with what you've got around you. I said, so there's nothing wrong with having that kind of firepower, but your focus should be more on what we have here, which is varmints. Coyotes, dogs, house cats. We have possums, we have raccoons. That's all disgusting. I hope never to get that hungry. We have, they said squirrels, tons of squirrels. Lots of dove. A lot of dove here. There's a lot of quail, but mostly dove. The majority of it's dove. And the Canadian geese. I forgot to mention that to him. The Canadian goose, which is a big animal. I think it has a considerable amount of meat on it. You'd have to learn how to cook it. But all that, if you have a shotgun, a .22, and a pellet rifle, you got your bases covered. And I'm talking for food, not self-defense necessarily, but you got that. You can pretty much, whatever protein's walking around or flying around here, you can do it all with that. And that's not a very expensive list of goods. He didn't agree, but I said, and a 12 gauge, or 20 gauge for that matter, you have different projectiles you can shoot at that thing. Slugs, bird loads, goose loads, all kinds of stuff you can do with a shotgun. So it has a wide target list. Then you have the .22. The animals around here, you can do .22 all day. Even the goose, even the squirrels and all that. That's not as expensive, like a 12 gauge round for one piece of meat. And they told me he laughed at the pellet gun. I said, dude, pellet gun, you'd probably do most of your hunting with a pellet gun. He goes, how is that? I said, you go out there right now, the back of my place, there's a ton of squirrels. You fire that .22 one time, they're gone. They're gone for hours. Okay, they're not stupid. They heard that. Okay, he's here. We're leaving. So I said, but I have a it's not cheap. It's a decent .22 caliber pellet rifle, but you can have a .177, I guess. But you have a decent pellet rifle. It's got a scope. It's nice. It's a nice pellet rifle. I can go out there and shoot 5, 6, 7 squirrels with that pellet rifle, and the rest will stand around watching because it just doesn't scare them off. That's a big advantage. Same thing if you were going to shoot dove. You can walk around your house, be shooting the whole time. By the time you get back around, they're waiting. It doesn't scare them off like a .22 or your shotgun will. But Canadian goose, you can take that with a .22. You have to be a right shot, but with your .20 or with your pellet rifle. So this guy kind of laughed at the pellet rifle. I just said, think about it, man. You get out there, one shot, and everything else is gone. You got to hit it, and hope you tag something. But I just got this guy to think. Hey, think about where you're at, close to home, and because there's no big game here. You can have a 300 Win Mag. You can do a whole lot good around here because there's nothing that big. But anyhow, shotgun, .22, pellet rifle. The other thing, I did mention this to him. I forgot to tell him about the Canadian geese, but because we have tons of Canadian geese here. ton. They never went home. But that would definitely be on the menu. Is traps, and I did videos a long time ago about traps. I have conibears, I have leg holds, different sizes, snares. I've got professional snares, heavy duty stuff, and most of that's for taking out predators from getting onto your livestock. But it could be, meat is meat. But Noe had used a conibear, raccoon traps, that sort of thing. That would work too, because now it's working while you're doing something else. That's the great thing about traps. You can set 10 traps out there. Fish traps, you got fish traps, same thing. You can set 10 of them out there. You can go back and do something else. Okay, big advantage, multiplier. But yeah, if you think locally, now if you live in a place where there's big game, hey, go get that moose, knock them out. That's great. But like us here, there's no big game around here. And I'm not saying that there's no use for the high caliber stuff, but why put your focus so much? You should know how to operate it. But 22 shotguns, multiple types of ammo coming out of it, traps, and a pellet gun. Pellet gun, I think you can go all day. Anyhow, think local. Love you. God bless.